right, it's fight week. Things are starting to heat up. We're starting to get to predictions. And Michael Bisping was doing a piece. He gave his prediction on Chimaev versus Burns. Bisping is taking Chimaev. Now, a lot of people are. As a matter of fact, there was only 3, 4, 5 people that weighed in on this over the weekend, but one of them was Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva took Burns, and the only reason I know that Anderson Silva was one of them is he was the only one that took Burns. Now, if we look at this, that's not very critical thinking, is it? It's not very critical thinking to take Chimaev. I mean, you got a checklist. Anybody that you ever pick, anybody that you would ever part your money with to bet on, you're going to have some form of a checklist, and every fight, every match, every week, it's going to be the same list, but you can't check very many boxes for Chimaev. I mean, we were start to say, who can go into championship rounds? Who can go later in the fight? Who can go 10 minutes into a fight? Who can go when he's hurt? Who can be on bottom and scramble out? Who can take punches and come back? Who can adjust in between rounds? I mean, any way that you want to do it, it's Burns. Anything that we have ever seen would lead you to believe it Burns. But again, Anderson Silva's the only one that I saw publicly
I don't know. It was moving the
picking Gilbert.
This much people like that. I like this also.
Like the
So
smash, that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about it, guys, and here's the thought that I'm trying to get out, because you're thinking the same thing and you're thinking Chimaev. I have not given my prediction. I'll bring that to you later in the week, but in all fairness, right, I see it too. Other people have criticized Chimaev and even refused to fight him. Refused to fight him because he wasn't ranked high enough, but on the back of that argument somewhere, they made the statement, he's a media creation. Two things can be true at the same time. Chimaev could be a media sensation and creation. And if you can get on that train, don't ever get off. You did something really good and you're the chosen one in each era, each 4 to 5 years, somebody comes along that captivates your imagination, and that just might be Chimaev. However, you can be a media creation and be awesome. You can do both. Like, they don't disqualify each other. One thing that I will have to turn to is I have seen guys on what's called a roll. They get hot. I've seen it at tournaments as wrestlers where somebody performs way outside of their shoes. They're ranked number 20 in a 30-man bracket, and they find themselves in the finals. And to get there, they beat guys that they've never beaten before, and they never end up beating again. They just get hot. Certain things just start to happen. And I've seen it in fighting. I've seen it bite people in the ass. Now, it bites them for the same reason, which is when you get used to something that should be really, really hard, but it wasn't. It wasn't 3 times in a row. Well, 3 times in a row represents 14 months in this sport. So now you got over a year that the hardest thing that you've ever signed up to do wasn't. I've seen people get 5 in a row where it wasn't just skill. They had some good matchmaking. When you look back, yeah, the matches were pretty favorable, things like that. But then they'll catch somebody will slip. I've seen people come across the ring, their knee, something happens, they fall down, nobody even touches each other, and the fight's over in the very first round. And you guys have seen this too, and you can get 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, and not just your big stars. Not just your Ronda Rouseys, not just your Frank Shamrocks, not just your Khamzat Chimaevs. I've seen it on the regional scene. I've seen guys where everything's going great, but they're down at the YMC, they're down on the dog park, some local shows that we have around my area, some of them my own teammates, and they get on one of these rolls, they get hot, they get a hot hand. And then they find themselves in a situation, sometimes on paper, that was supposed to be the easiest of all of the hands they were dealt. It turns out to be the hardest, and things fall apart very quickly. I have no evidence to conclude for you that that represents Chimaev. I just have good historical data to tell you that every match is different, and in my mind, the buck stops at Gilbert Burns. I do not believe at 170 pounds you can beat Gilbert Burns and not find yourself in a title fight next. I do not believe at 170 pounds you could beat Colby Covington and not find yourself in a title fight, even if that was not the plan going into it. Even if it was never stated this is a number 1 contenders match, I don't think you could beat either one of those absolute studs and be anything but shined up so much that you go into a main event for the belt. That's what I think. Now, when it comes to Chimaev and you have Bisping weighing in, Bisping is very open about the concept that I'm speaking to, which is we haven't seen a ton from him in the ring. And Daniel Cormier weighed in on this too, just to give you names that you'll be able to recognize over the weekend. And Daniel said the same thing. We don't have a ton of data from Khamzat Chimaev. Daniel loves that he says, I'm going to smash everybody, and then gets him out of there in the first round. That he calls his own shot, then go ahead and does it, and one time did it twice in a week. I do too. Like, that's pretty cool for me. There's something special here. But on his feet, I've never seen him hit. On his feet, I've never seen him kick or kicked out. It'd be a big deal, as small as that might sound. When somebody throws a kick, how does he react? Is he an offensive counterfighter where he throws straight down the middle? Right? He's Tim Sylvia against Rigo Rodriguez. Is he a defensive fighter like Venom Page where he's blinging a block up and trying to hook? I mean, it really matters. Does he flinch and he doesn't know what to do? As simple as that is, that I just told you, well, I don't know how he reacts when he kicked his throat. But that's how little I know. I don't know. Does he do better with orthodox or southpaw? I don't know. I saw him throw one punch on his feet. I've never seen him throw a knee. I've never seen him do an elbow. I don't. If he's dynamic and he's got a wheel kick somewhere in the arsenal, I don't know. He threw one punch, it landed, the guy went down, the fight was over. 3 other times I saw him hit a double leg, and I liked them. They were aggressive. I for sure am impressed with his conditioning. How do you say that, Chael? He's never gone a full 5 minutes. Well, but he's done some other stuff. Your confidence is going to come from one thing. It's not going to come from your power. It's not going to, how many pull-ups can you do? How much can you bench press? It's not. Your confidence will come from one thing, which is your level of conditioning. There is nothing on fight night when you leave that locker room, whether you're going to believe in yourself or think, well, going to need a few things to go my way because I'm not sure I earned it. There is nothing that will make you make that decision internally more than the level of shape that you're in. And when I have seen Chimaev be so confident, even smiling when he's going to the ring, I mean, there's good actors out there. He's happy to go do his job. But when he picked up the number 10 ranked fighter in the world, which is his last fight, early in the contest where every other fighter is saving every single breath, every action and every moment in case they need it towards the end of the evening. He's in that same moment against the number 10 ranked guy, lifts him off the ground and decides to have a conversation with Dana White. I am telling you, that is not just good TV. That is confidence. And you only get confidence one way. You gotta be in goddamn good shape. So as much as a leap as you think perhaps Chael is making by just giving him a pass on the conditioning test, I'm giving him a pass. And every other fighter that hears this will agree with what I just said. You cannot be sure of yourself. You cannot be in a tussle and you're in the very first scramble of a fight against a ranked guy and you're not even beating him yet. You haven't blocked him. You haven't blued him. You haven't got a round or two under your belt. You're in the opening scramble and you decide to use your energy to hold him in the air, which is hard for anybody. You're going to go pick up 170 pounds, just hold it there, and then go and have a conversation with somebody. It's very interesting. I think that the guy's in good shape. I know Bisping is influenced greatly by what Darren Till tells him, but in all fairness, that's how these things work. Anybody that's ever had a reputation ever, where it carries you from the playground all the way to the octagon, but that's how it started. Somebody else that was a tough guy said, that guy's a tough guy. That's how it works. So it's an interesting match. Make no mistake. You're going to want my prediction, but I want to hear yours too. But before you make it, and before you go along with the choruses that are saying Chimaev, before you do that, take a moment to go through your internal checklist. The same one that you do every single time, every single week. The same one that you're going to do for multiple fights on this specific card. Take a look at that list and then tell me objectively that you still believe, based on evidence that you've previously seen, who's going to win this fight.